Hello and welcome to this Insight session. I'm going to be talking to you about the new HR Level 5 apprenticeship programme, which is now called People Professional. I'd just like to give you a very warm welcome to BPro and to say that we're super excited to be telling you about the new People Professional programme, and we look forward to working with you hopefully on a more individual basis. To start, here is the overview of the agenda about what I'm going to cover today. So I'm going to start off by telling you a little bit about BPro, who we are and what we do. And then I'm going to go through each of the component parts of the apprenticeship programme to hopefully give you a good understanding and overview of what it entails. So who are BPro? So I'd like to introduce you firstly to Val Swales and Georgina Selmy, who are mother and daughter. And they started BPro back in 2014 after both coming from having careers in education and HR. And they wanted to be able to offer high quality training provision focused on the learner to help economic growth by improving professional development. And we have now grown to be a national provider offering apprenticeships in HR, L&D, learning mentor, coaching, recruitment and corporate responsibility and sustainability. All of the development coaches and the tutors within our teams are all experts in their field of delivery and have come from industry experience, meaning that they are well placed to be able to coach and develop our learners. I'd just like to describe to you some of the values that we hold here at BPro. So, first and foremost, we are committed to providing that best learning experience that is suited to individual needs and customer needs through dedicated, professionally qualified and experienced staff. We encourage, motivate and inspire success in all of our learners. We promote equal opportunities and value diversity. We take our responsibilities very seriously, and we very much hold ourselves to account, and we are open and transparent in everything that we do. We work with many organisations across varying sectors, such as public sector, private sector and the charity sector, covering lots of different industries as well. Working in a cohort when you come on board on the programme enables you to meet peers from different organisations, backgrounds and experiences, enabling you to broaden your insight and having opportunity to collaborate and network. The role that you do is key to enable you to be able to provide all the learning evidence that you need to meet the apprenticeship knowledge, skills and behaviour standards. You will be creating a portfolio of evidence as part of the programme, so you are going to need opportunity to be able to demonstrate things like coaching, advising, being able to challenge appropriately, and you will work with stakeholders, building relationships to be able to influence and communicate whilst making things like evidence-based decisions. Also, as part of your role, you need to be supporting the business to implement and deliver all aspects of the people plan, using data to form insights, to create solutions. And you also need to be up to date with all people policy and legislative requirements. On the screen there, you can see some kind of typical job titles that we would expect to see our learners holding as they come on board for their suitability for this programme. It's really important that anybody doing the programme is in a people function role to be able to demonstrate all that required evidence that you need for your portfolio. So why do an apprenticeship? What are the benefits? You're going to be studying for a qualification that gives you knowledge, but then you're going to be able to apply that knowledge into your skills and behaviours and have a portfolio of evidence that demonstrates your skills and behaviours, effectively saying that you don't just know about things, but you can actually do the job as well. So it really is the best of both worlds. You will then be tested at an endpoint assessment, demonstrating to a third party that will then also agree that you have those knowledge, skills and behaviours that relate to this apprenticeship. So there are three elements that make up the apprenticeship programme. So the first bit is the apprenticeship standards. So you're going to be studying for the Level 5 People Professional apprenticeship. The second element is the CIPD qualification, which is the Associate Diploma in People Management. And the third element is Maths and English. And we will always embed Maths and English throughout our programmes. However, you need to have either a Functional Skills Level 2 certificate for Maths and English, or a GCSE or equivalent certificate for Maths and English grade 4 or above. Now, for each of these elements, we have online portals. So for the apprenticeship standards, you'll be using a system called Bud. So Bud will include everything that you will use to record your portfolio of evidence. For the qualification, you will have access to an online classroom where all your resources, teaching materials and everything will be in there, and that's where you will be uploading your assignments. And then the BKSV platform is the Maths and English platform. So again, everybody, whether you have got your certificates or not, will do some initial Maths and English diagnostics, and so we can see where your current level is, and then we will support you through either a Maths and English functional skills exams, or we will aim to improve your Maths and English skills throughout the programme if you don't need to do functional skills. So firstly, let's have a look at the apprenticeship standards. So the apprenticeship standards are broken down into 3 areas: knowledge, skills and behaviours, or KSBs for short. There are 22 knowledges, 20 skills and 9 behaviours aligned to this standard. You're going to be gaining knowledge from the workshops that you attend, from your assignment writing research, from reading, and from all of the off-the-job hours where you are applying that learning in the workplace. You're also going to be gaining skills by working with your development coach and from your workshops to put your knowledge into action and apply what you have been learning throughout the programme. And linked to knowledge and skills, you will demonstrate the required behaviours which can be evidenced through various means, such as witness statements, appraisals and 360-degree feedback. You will be required to develop your ability in each knowledge, skill and behaviour. So you can see on the slide an example of a knowledge criteria, a skill criteria and a behaviour criteria. So just by reviewing those, you could see that one piece of work could potentially demonstrate and provide evidence against all 3. It's this evidence, this piece of work, that is required to be uploaded to your e-portfolio on Bud to demonstrate that you can meet the knowledge, skills and behaviours at the appropriate level for this standard. As part of your apprenticeship, you'll need to record the number of hours spent completing tasks to demonstrate the 6 hours per week minimum off-the-job requirement. 6 hours a week is based on somebody working 30 hours plus per week. So if you do work less than that, it's worked out on a pro rata basis. Time spent on initial assessments, onboarding, progress reviews, English and maths study up to level 2 doesn't count towards off-the-job training. But off-the-job training hours can include things like tasks you've done for the first time, maybe attending training and development opportunities, meetings that you have attended, practical training, so things like shadowing, mentoring or industry visits. It could be things like learning support and time spent writing assignments and assessments, as long as it's work that is related to the standard. Another element of your apprenticeship is Maths and English. So I'm going to tell you a little bit more about functional skills if that is something that you need to do. Functional skills are a mandated government requirement for all apprenticeships in England. Exemptions are permitted for candidates that can provide evidence of previously achieving a GCSE or equivalent at a level 4 or above. So if you have got your certificates, then you will not need to do functional skills as part of your apprenticeship. If you've got a certificate from another country, our onboarding team will be able to support you to apply to ENIC, who will then be able to tell us whether or not your certificate is equivalent to a GCSE or not. There is a cost involved with that though, and that cost lies with the learner. But once you have completed an initial diagnostic and you need to do functional skills, that will help us to identify what the current level is that you are working at. And your functional skills coach will be then able to provide you with resources and direct you to all the right support that you need to be able to pass your level 2 functional skills. The third element of the programme is the CIPD qualification. Now, as part of the qualification, you do need to have a CIPD membership because all your assignments get sent to CIPD for moderation, and they can only moderate them if you are a member. So you can see on the screen there are various different levels. So if you've never studied with CIPD before, then it's the student membership, the £124 a year that you will need to purchase. And there are different payment options that you can do. However, quite a lot of organisations are prepared to pay this for the learner, so it's worth asking the question. It is also worth noting that there is a one-off £40 joining fee that you will need to pay at the beginning. But the membership benefits are really great. There's lots of access to lots of resources on there and information that will support you on your apprenticeship journey and in your assignment writing as well. I'm just going to tell you a little bit about the qualification and what it entails. So on the screen there, you can see that you will initially complete 3 core modules. You will then complete 3 specialist modules, and then you can pick 1 optional module. So there'll be 7 in all to complete. Okay, so I'm just going to give you a little brief overview of what the kind of subjects you'll be looking at as part of those modules. So 5 Core 1 is all about organisational performance and culture in practice. And this unit explores the connections between organisational structure and the wider world of work in a commercial context. It highlights the factors and trends, including the digital environment, that impact on business strategy and workforce planning, recognising the influence of culture, employee well-being and behaviour in delivering change and organisational performance. 5 Core 2 is all about evidence-based practice, and this unit addresses the significance of capturing robust quantitative and qualitative evidence to inform meaningful insight to influence critical thinking. It focuses on analysing evidence through an ethical lens to improve decision-making and how measuring the impact of people practice is essential in creating value. 5 Core 3 is all about professional behaviours and valuing people, and this unit focuses on how applying core professional behaviours such as ethical practice, courage and inclusivity can build positive working relationships and support employee voice and well-being. It considers how developing and mastering new professional behaviours and practice can impact on your own performance. So once you've completed the core elements, we'll then move into the more specialised areas of HR. So 5HRO1 is all about employee relationship management, and this unit examines the key approaches, practices and tools to manage and enhance that employee relationship to better create working lives and the significant impact this can have on organisational performance. 5HRO2 is all about talent management and workforce planning, and this unit focuses on the impact of effective workforce planning in considering the developments of diverse talent pools and how to contract and onboard the workforce. It also includes analysis of the potential cost to the organisation if this is poorly managed and the tools and interventions required to mitigate this risk. 5HRO3 then is all about reward for performance and contribution, and this unit focuses on how internal and external business factors influence reward strategies and policies, the financial drivers of the organisation and the impact of reward costs. It considers the importance of the role of people practice in supporting managers to make robust and professional reward judgments and the impact of rewarding performance. You then get to choose one of the optional modules. So Specialist Employment Law, which is 50SO1, considers key areas of employment legislation and its legal framework, focusing on how people professionals are obliged to take account of legal requirements in different jurisdictions when carrying out varied aspects of their role. 50SO2 is all about advances in digital learning and development, and this unit focuses on how digital technology can be used to enhance learning and development engagement. It looks at existing and emerging technologies and how the use of digital content and curation is designed to maximise interaction and the value of online learning communities. 50SO3 focuses on learning and development essentials, and this unit provides the essential aspects of learning and development practice for those working in a people management focused role, recognising the connections within the organisation and how learning and development drives performance. It explores the stages of learning and development design, development and facilitation, as well as alternative modes of learning to enhance learner engagement and support the business. 50SO4 is all about people management in an international context, and this unit is designed to give those practitioners working in people management in an international context the opportunity to focus on the complexities and considerations essential to this. 50SO5 is all about diversity and inclusion, and this unit focuses on how adapting leadership styles to manage, monitor and report on equality and diversity is essential for inclusive practice and legislation. The importance of promoting a diverse and inclusive workforce to drive a positive culture and celebrate diversity and inclusion increases organisational performance, as well as meeting the needs of employees and customers more effectively. 50SO6 is all about leadership and management development, and this unit builds on the fundamentals of learning and development, taking a closer look at the essential areas of leadership and management and how this is critical in developing the right culture and behaviours to establish a working environment which is cohesive, diverse, innovative and high performing. Choosing the right tools and approaches to facilitate development will ultimately impact organisational effectiveness. The final option is 50SO7, which is all about wellbeing at work, and this unit introduces wellbeing and its importance in the workplace. It explores existing links between work, health and wellbeing, examining how to manage wellbeing and how it links with other areas of people management practice and wider organisational strategy. The unit considers key elements of wellbeing programmes and the stakeholders involved, examining organisational responsibilities and the outcomes of managing wellbeing for employees and employers. So what will the on-programme support look like? So firstly, you will be attending workshops to support you through the CIPD qualification, and those will be built into a scheme of work for you and will be scheduled for you, and you will attend every 3 weeks for approximately 3 hours. Those sessions are online, they're interactive and they are engaging and will give you an opportunity to collaborate and network with HR peers from across a wide range of industries. All the materials, the slide decks, any of the resources that are used within any of the classes will then be put into the classroom for you to help support you to write your assignments. So the second part is the apprenticeship programme. So you will be assigned a development coach who will work with you to support you through the apprenticeship programme. They will generally meet with you every 8 weeks to plan out your programme, plan out your portfolio of evidence, help you and coach you to get the evidence that you need to be able to evidence the knowledge, skills and behaviours. That meeting is generally for a couple of hours every 8 weeks. However, we do expect your line manager to attend, but usually for the first half hour or the last half hour, so that we can ensure you're getting the right support and they are fully up to speed with exactly where you are with your programme. You've got your Learning Manager portal, which is your Bud portal, which will contain all your tasks and activities and will show your progress throughout the programme. And your development coach will look at your work on there, they will assess your work on there, and they will give you feedback about that as well. If you are doing functional skills, you will be supported with a personal functional skills tutor. We do have workshops that we run on all the different areas of Maths and English. So again, once they've done that initial diagnostic, it might be that there's some of those workshops you would really benefit from. And again, they can support you to get the knowledge required to help you to pass your level 2 Maths and English. And then the last thing on there is just around learner welfare. So, very important to us. Safeguarding our learners while they're with us on programme is very important. We have a dedicated safeguarding team. We insist on things like cameras on when we are together so that we can always ensure that you are in a safe and secure environment. So once you get to the end of your apprenticeship programme and you have collated all the relevant evidence that you need for the knowledge, skills, behaviours, you've completed 6 out of the 7 modules for your CIPD assignment, you have got your Maths and English certificates, whether that is from previous learning or you have passed your functional skills level 2 for both subjects, and you have also fulfilled the minimum number of off-the-job hours, you are ready to move to what we call Gateway. So Gateway is a meeting between you, your development coach and your line manager. And the meeting is then to determine that you are ready for endpoint assessment. Endpoint assessment is where an external assessor will assess you and your competence at the level of your apprenticeship. So here is an overview of the Level 5 People Professional Endpoint Assessment. So overall there are 3 methods of assessment, and the first 2 will be conducted by an external assessor. Okay, so assessment method 1 is a presentation and questioning session. So you will be putting together a presentation, a subject to be determined between yourself, your coach and your line manager nearer the time. You'll present that and you will be evidencing some of the knowledge, skills and behaviours that you have developed throughout the programme, and then there will be a time for questions about that from the endpoint assessor. The second method is a professional discussion. So again, this will be determined from the portfolio of evidence that you've collated throughout of the programme. So you will be able to discuss and describe how you meet the assessment criteria from all the work that you have done whilst you're on programme. The third assessment method will be to complete the final CIPD unit, and this one will be 5 Core 3. So you may have had the teaching for this earlier in the programme, but you will complete the actual assignment for it during the endpoint assessment period. And it's worth noting there that the CIPD certification actually happens once you have completed your endpoint assessment. There are some government eligibility rules relating to apprenticeships. So the first one is that you need to be on a permanent contract and you need to have the full support of your line manager to do the programme. You need to be a UK resident for at least the last 3 years. You need to work more than 16 hours a week, but the programme is based on somebody working 30 hours as I previously described. However, if you do work less than 30 hours, it is worked out on a pro rata basis for you. You need to be completing a job-related apprenticeship, and again, I described what some of those roles should look like earlier in the presentation. And you need to be age 16 plus, but there are no upper age limit restrictions. And you will, as I say, complete an initial diagnostic assessment for Maths and English, whether or not you need to complete functional skills ultimately. So what's next? So where do we go from here? So you may have your own internal process about being able to get onto an apprenticeship programme. So the first thing that you would do is obviously to go through that programme internally. If you're then successful to be put forward for an apprenticeship, your client engagement contact will work with you to get that all set up for you. So you will then be provided with with an onboarding pack from BPro, and then we will provide you with what we call a skill scan, where you will be able to do your own kind of self-assessment against each of the apprenticeship knowledge, skills and behaviours to see where you are currently pitching yourself to that. You absolutely do need to have scope for development in the programme. So what I'd say is don't worry too much about thinking you've got to score really high on that. In fact, the lower you score, the more you will get out of the programme. You will then complete a call with one of the development coaches, what we call an information and guidance call, and they will go through that skill scan with you and your manager to assess your suitability for the programme. If it's determined that you are suitable, you will then be eligible to go through the enrolment process with a development coach. And again, that is with you and your manager in attendance, and you will complete some what we call first day of learning activities. At the start of your programme, if you need to do functional skills, you will be assigned a functional skills tutor, and they will start that process with you. And what we do try and do is make sure that you get your functional skills completed within the first 3 to 6 months, so that then you can focus on the other elements of your programme. Your DC will have got you set up, and they will then do an initial 4-week review with you and your manager to see how you're settling in, how you're getting on board, and they will kind of help you scope out your apprenticeship activities and how you are going to build your portfolio of evidence. You will attend your first workshop in week 5 of your programme, so that gives you the first 4 weeks to get on board and get familiar with all the tools and platforms that you will be using. And then you will attend your first 8-week review with your development coach, or DC as we call them, and they will then schedule those in on an 8-weekly basis with you. So that is kind of an overview of the programme. I hope you found that beneficial. If you've got any further questions, please absolutely reach out to your client engagement contact, and we'll be more than happy to answer any questions that you've got. Otherwise, I'd just like to say thank you for watching, and I hope very much to see you soon joining us at BPro to complete your apprenticeship programme for the Level 5 People Professional.